reconvene the meeting. All right, Mr. Hammond, you can go first.
A couple things, housekeeping. We need to close the courthouse for Thursday. We have permission from the chief judge to close the court system and the clerk's office. And you have control of the other one, so it'd be my recommendation to close for Thursday.
All right, need a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second. Motion by Mr. Rogers, second by Commissioner McDaniel. Any further board discussion on this? Anyone in the public on this? All right, any opposition to that motion? Motion passes 4-0.
I need permission from the board to engage with our disaster contractor, Ashbrit. Marshall and I have been talking about this for the last 24 hours about when to pull the trigger. We don't want to be behind. We want to make sure we can get reimbursed. We talked to the CFO, Petronas, who stopped by a couple hours ago, and he's going to help us with that situation. But we need to go ahead and get the ball rolling, get them mobilized where we can get them in as quickly as possible. We have a contract with them to provide that service, and then they subcontract to different providers based on the need. So if you could allow us to get that ball rolling.
All right, I entertain a motion.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner McCrone, second by Commissioner Rogers. Any further board discussion? Anyone in the public on this? All right, any opposition to that motion? Motion passes 4-0.
He's almost here, but he's not. We do need to have an update on a couple of things. I just wanted a timeline. He's going to move the ambulances to the White City Fire Department. The hospital is closing at 5 o'clock Eastern Time.
Emergency room.
So there's going to be very limited medical providers on the south end of the county, south of the White City Bridge, in the very near future. So that people need to govern themselves accordingly on that. And then Marshall's got a couple updates on riverine flood.
All right, Mr. Nelson.
And one thing we did talk about getting Ashbrit in here is, from the way it looks, we're going to have a lot of closed roads from down power lines, debris, and we want to get those cleared out as soon as possible so that we can get stuff out of the hospital back up and going and providers in here. I know that Duke Energy, they've got all their stuff staged over in Apalachicola, and they're ready to move in just as soon as it's safe. So hopefully we can go ahead and get those power lines out of the road, get debris out of the road, and then that way we can start getting emergency services back in there as quickly as possible. On the river, we've been looking at the storm surge, and the whole time I've been here, the storm surge maps always showed that storm surge could go up to Weewalt, and I never thought I'd see it. But right now, they got storm surge going all the way to Weewalt. And then on the Expola side, the rain will be taking over, and we'll actually have rainwater will be filling up the basin there. So we'll have some, what they're calling moderate flood conditions, unless we get real heavy rain up in that area. With the storm surge coming up, it's going to affect Howard's Creek and then possibly, some of the other landings up there, Douglas and Bryce Landing. I don't think it'll affect up too much further, but it is possible. And so what I would like to do is just put out a statement for all those with interest along the river to closely monitor for rising waters, and then be prepared to take any protective actions if so needed.
Okay. All right. Board members, y'all got anything?
Mr. Chairman, if we could get the sheriff, as far as the bridges, I have had some more calls, just to go over that, closure of the bridges and,
that's our number one call too. We're going to continuously monitor them, and when we deem it to be unsafe, we'll close them at that time. I can't put an hour on it. I can't put a wind speed on it. We'll know when it's unsafe, and at that time, close it down. I know people are trying to wait till the last minute so they can get across that bridge. My advice to them now is do it now, and go ahead and make those moves, get where you need to go to, and before we have to close them.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thanks, sir. Anything else? Yeah. Sam?
Just one more follow-up
Okay.
for people in the city of Port St. Joe that weren't in the mandatory zone, but since the hospital is going to be closed, the nursing home is being evacuated now, they should be through any time, thank God. We do need to follow up that on our after-action report. We need to have a lot more discussion with the administration at the hospital, at the nursing home, because that seems to be a problem. There's not going to be any medical service for at least 24 hours, maybe longer, on south of the White City Bridge. So anybody that thinks that they, need medical attention or is on oxygen that's going to be out without power, they need to leave now. They can still leave now. They can still go to the shelter in Honeyville. They can still go further north. They're going to have a couple more hours where it will be safe for them to leave, but they need to leave now if they're going to have that, because we're not going to be able to respond to those calls after probably dark this afternoon.
Okay. All right, Mr. McCall, I don't know if you want to mention about the single ladies, older ladies that refuse to get out.
Just concerned, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got some people that are determined to stay at Indian Pass and at Cape San Blas, and I just can't stress enough that loss of life. I tell you guys, I'm just concerned, and now's the time. If you no hospital, no medical services, we can't get to you, and now's the time to get out. So,
If you, Commissioner, if you could give us their names, their contact information, their address, and a list of their next of kin, would be very helpful.
okay, thank you.
All right. Any other board members? All right, anyone in the public? Anything you want to add? Questions, concerns? All right,
We don't plan to call you back, except in a dire emergency. We would trust that you'll allow, through the chairman and myself, to make decisions if we did have a dire emergency, but all the plans, we've followed the plan step by step, so we don't anticipate having another. But if you still want to recess in the event, we may have to come back Thursday or Friday.
okay, all right. All right, the meeting stands in recess.
Thank you.